Hello, everyone. This is Scott Geider with my co-host Joanne Thomas. Our guest today is actress Suze Lanier-Bramlett. You might remember her from the days of The Hills Have Eyes in '77. But before we get to her, let's check out a tune that she wrote and sang. It's called "Watch What You Ask For." Now, I'm going to ask you a question about The Hills Have Eyes. I know when that was made back in '77, it wasn't supposed to be anything big. I mean, a lot of the horror films like Chainsaw Massacre and Night of the Living Dead in '68, they weren't supposed to be anything huge, but they are today. What was your experience like working with Michael Berryman and Dee Wallace and the Cannibal family?
Um, honestly, Dee, I was the only one of the cast that had significant credits at that time. I certainly will not say that I was a star. I was not a star at the time. I had a large body of work in television, but I had not gotten the opportunity to star in a movie. And when Wes Craven offered me the lead, I jumped at the chance, even though my agent didn't want me to do it. He thought it would cheapen my career. He was from New York. He was from the New York theater, Martin Gage, and he just thought horror was, the lowest rung on the ladder. And so when I got to the set, it was awkward at first because Michael had done Cuckoo's Nest, but he was certainly not known at the time. And
right.
And Dee didn't have very many credits. And so it was awkward to some degree. I think they thought I was a snob. And I spent a lot of time by myself on the set, except that we were all stuck in the same trailer. And, out in the desert at night when it was freezing and in the daytime when it was burning hot. And so we all finally kind of got friendly. I got to be better friends with Michael Berryman years later, and we're very close now. But at the time, I think that they can, and I was also used to having my own trailer, having wardrobe there, having makeup there, for every take. And it was primitive out there in the desert. We didn't have any of that. And I'd gotten a little spoiled. So I'll give them that, and maybe that was, I think I was kind of shocked that there weren't more, there was not a little bit more of that on the set of this movie. We all got along great. Dee and I would work out at the gym at the hotel together. But honestly, we weren't all great friends. I would be called in to look at dailies. Not everybody was. And that kind of set me apart from the rest of them. So I did get a reputation on the set of being a little bit snobby, and I didn't feel like I deserved it, but I can see their point of view. So there had been some problems with them paying us our overtime. I'm just going to tell you the truth because, I think it's better to tell the truth at this point. I may never get another chance. And so, people should know, what really did happen. Payroll had not sent us all our overtime from part one. So I had my agent actually enforced them to pay before The Hills Have Eyes Part 1 the first one could be even released. So nobody was happy about that. But I figure if I'm going to go to the desert and work my butt off, I need to be paid at least the little stipend that we were paid. So we've not received big residuals or royalties from that movie. The producer, Wes Craven, and all the group, they made a lot of money on it. The actors made very little money on it. And I don't see that things have changed too much from those days where the producers make everything and the actors now, particularly, I think it's even worse. You make now people are trying to pay you $100 a day if you're lucky. It was just very low budget, and actors are not treated that well. It looks like a glamorous lifestyle. And if you don't defend yourself and stand up for yourself, they'll run all over you. And I just have too much pride to be abused. And that was what it was getting down to. So I didn't care whether I was in The Hills Have Eyes 2 or not, you know.
Right.
And very few of us were used. It was not, to me, there's no comparison between part 2 and the original. So, you know, so there you have it. I wasn't even in it. As far as I'm concerned, I wasn't in it. And I certainly didn't get paid very much for it. So I don't even consider myself a part of part 2.
All right. Well, yeah, well, it's, you know, but, you know, there's one thing that you can say is you are part of that film, and that film is an iconic film today. So I guess it's good and a bad, right?
Yeah, you know what? I I starred in that film. And, you know, it says The Hills Have Eyes, starring Suze Lanier. And there have been articles written where everybody's mentioned but me. And it's sort of been a love-hate relationship with how it all went down. And I am very excited about my new film because now I dropped out for a long time from acting to focus on music and photography and other art forms that I've been successful in, and also where I have more control over the outcome. You know, if I want to write a song, I go in the living room and sit down at the piano and write a song, or call a fellow songwriter and say, let's get together and write a song. Then we go in the studio, record it, and voila,